Okay. So last time we were working on this worksheet. I think it was number 2. Yeah, it was number 2, and we looked at how to construct a common size statement. We said that a common size statement compares your accounts to a particular benchmark account. For an income statement, it's sales. So this means, for example, 93.91% total operating cost. This means that your total operating cost is 93.9% of your sales. Ibig sabihin, for 1 peso sale, guys, yung total operating cost natin is around 93 centavos or 94 centavos. Net income after tax, 2.56% means that for every 1 peso sale, the net income after tax is around 2 centavos. Okay? Tama, 2.56. Sa bawat piso na sales, 1, 2, tama. 2.56% is just 2 centavos. 2.56 cents. Okay, so that's the importance of a common size statement kasi bine-benchmark natin siya to a particular account. Pag balance sheet, ang 100% natin yung total assets. So everything here is explained in terms of your total assets. So for example, paano ba investment ng company? Ito, 76% of the assets are invested in current assets. Okay, while around 33% is invested in long-term assets or gross fixed assets. If you take a look at and compare it year by year, makikita natin guys na yung gross fixed assets natin nag-increase siya compared to 2020, comparing 2020 and 2021. Okay, nag-increase siya from 33% naging 41 or 42% approximately. So in the income statement, makikita natin na in 2019, the company was earning 2 cents or 2 pesos, 2.56 pesos per 100 peso sales. In 2020, okay, they were losing out. For every 100 peso sales, they were losing 1.1 peso and 63 centavos of sales. Okay, so that's the use of the common size statement. It's good to look at it from a particular benchmark, from a particular perspective, so that you can compare within the year, you can analyze within the year, and also you can analyze between years. Okay, so dito makikita natin, whereas in 2019, the company was earning 2 pesos, 0.56 centavos per sales of 100 pesos. Noong 2020, bumagsak siya. It was losing 1 peso and 63 centavos for every 100 peso of sales. So there was a marked deterioration in the operating performance of the firm comparing 2019 and 2020. So the common size statement is good to analyze your FS, financial statements, on an intra-year basis and on an inter-year basis. Intra means within the year, inter means comparing years. In this case, 2019 and 2020. Okay, we'll have more of this. In fact, for your group work, for your project, you'll be needing the common size statement in analyzing the company of your choice, of course, with my approval. And then you're going to, aside from the many financial statement, many ratios, we are also going to do the common size statement to compare the intra-year and the inter-year. Okay, so let's leave that for a while and then let's work on another worksheet. For number 3, guys, I'll leave this to you for practice. Okay, so you can compute whatever we computed here in number 1 in the first worksheet. Okay, sorry. Whatever you computed here, you can do for number 3 because you have 2 financial statements. So let's work on number 4. Okay, so here you're given the income statement and the balance sheet, and there are certain blanks here which we're going to work on. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, guys, to work on the green empty cells here. I want you to work on that until maybe total liabilities and equity. So let's fill up first the actually hanggang dito, so free cash flow. So let's see how you can compute for this, and then let's compare. I'll give you 5 minutes. I'll pause the recording first, and then let's come back in 5 minutes. May note lang dito, taxes, fee, below rate. Sabihin below rate dito. Sorry. Ano given tax dito?
Sir, sa other rates.
Ito pala, sorry.
Other data.
Yeah, thank you. So let's use a 40% tax rate here, okay? Although guys, hindi na siya updated, no? Kasi ang corporate tax natin ngayon sa Philippines is 30%. But that's no worry, guys. What's important is the process of computing. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, guys. Let's make it official so that official ang time natin. Date and time. Philippines. So official Philippine time is 1:02. Okay, 1:02, guys. So let's 1:03. Let's meet again on 1:08. So I'm going to first pause the recording, and then let's compare. Let's compare answers. Okay, up to hanggang saan, guys, ang gagawin nyo? Hanggang FCF. Okay? I don't mind you chatting, guys, with your classmates, coordinating. It's okay. Hindi naman to graded, ano. Gusto natin, kung may questions kayo, you can ask each other, no problem. And then we'll compare notes after 5 minutes. Okay, so let's do this. I'll pause the recording. Okay, please remind me to resume recording after this. Okay, I'll resume recording, guys. Okay, let's compare. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's compare, guys, our income statement. So this is the operating profit. Any questions about the operating profit? It's simply your sales less costs, di ba? Minus lang natin yan to get your operating profit. And then we're given the interest expense. So obviously, guys, your operating profit less your interest expense will give us your earnings before. What's another name for your operating profit, please? This is taking a look at your income statement kasi ang hindi pa binabawas yung interest at yung taxes. So what's another name for this operating profit? Anyone? It's your
EBIT.
EBITDA, no? Diba? EBITDA yan. Ay, sorry. EBIT pala. Okay, wala tayong, hindi sinabi dito yung depreciation. Ibig sabihin, nabawas na, no? Kasama na yung depreciation dito sa operating profit. Otherwise, kung nag-subtract pa tayo ng depreciation at saka amortization, then this would have been the EBITDA. Okay, so EBIT, less interest, less tax. Okay, so this gives us the operating profit of this value. And then we subtract the interest expense to get this value. And then we subtract the tax, which is just your EBT times your tax. Now, one good thing to do is you can name this. What I did was nawala yung pangalan. Okay. I gave this a name. Ba't nawala? Malabas naman ang tax rate. I gave this a name, guys. This one, I gave it the name tax rate. Ay, nasa kabilang ano. Kasi may ginamit na ako dito. Okay. So tax rate 40%. So that when I multiply the earnings before tax with your tax rate, okay, and just copy this to the right, then we have our net income, which is just the difference between this, between your earnings before tax and your taxes. Okay, pause muna ako. Any questions, guys? Nakuha niyo ba yung net income?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions? Okay. Sige, baka may question. Okay, thank you. All right, then we were given the dividends, given time dividends. Therefore, the addition to retained earnings will simply be the difference between your net income and your dividends. So this is just the difference between your net income and your dividends in order for us to arrive at the addition to retained earnings. Okay, any questions, guys? Dito? No questions? All right. Then we go to the balance sheet. Simplified balance sheet, hindi na binigay yung breakdown ng cash, receivables, inventory. Binigay na lang yung current assets lahat. Okay. So your operating current assets is this amount. Since wala naman siyang non-operating current assets, then our total current assets will simply be this one. walang walang information na binigay about non-current assets. So our total current assets will be your operating, will be your total current assets, will be your operating current assets. Okay, clear here, guys? Clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Then we're given the net property, plant, and equipment. So to get your total assets, just add the two. Okay. Ang net na binigay sa atin. So, binigay sa atin yung gross, guys. Isa-subtract nyo muna dapat yung accumulated depreciation to get your net. Kasi ang ina-add natin yung current assets at saka yung net fixed assets natin to arrive at your total assets. So this is our total assets now, guys. So pause muna ako. Any questions? Did you get the same answers, guys?
Yes po.
Okay. Yung iba, guys, pakichat naman please kung ano, kung...
No question po, sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you. All right. Then we go to liabilities and shareholders' equity. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Kasi baka may mga hindi kayong nakuha, no? Kasi kailangan natin yan to arrive at this one. Okay. So we now go to the liabilities and shareholders' equity. So we have, just like above, medyo abbreviated to na liabilities and shareholders' equity. So we're just given the operating current liabilities. Wala daw non-operating current liabilities. So lahat, guys, lahat ng current liabilities natin are all operating. So ang total current liabilities natin will just be the same. Yun lang siya. No? Pareho lang. Then we have the long-term debt given. So we can add the two to get the total liabilities. Okay, then we're given the common equity here so that we'll be able to get your total liabilities and equity, which is just the sum of this one. Okay, so for 2019, I got 378. 2020, I got 396. Okay, any questions?
None po, sir.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes.
Paano po nakuha yung common equities ng 2019 tas 2020?
Okay, sige. Good question. Any suggestion, guys? Paano
Like
nakuha
this.
yung 171?
Minus
one.
assets minus ano, sir, liabilities. Is equal to equity.
Hindi. Let's
Hindi?
not do that, no? Let's not do the work around. Pwede rin yon, kaso let's not use the assets. Kasi pag nagko-compute tayo ng liabilities and equity, we don't use the total assets to arrive at the liabilities and equity. We use them individually, no? We compute for this one itself. Any suggestion, guys? That's a good question. How did we get this? Actually, I was already expecting that. Any suggestion, guys? Paano kaya nakuha yung 171 without us subtracting, no? Yung parang squeeze natin yung figure. So if you do that, i-delete nyo muna to. No? Kasi may formula yan. Anong formula? It has something to do with your concept ng equity. So how did I get 171? Sorry?
Sir, I got it po.
Yes, sige, paano?
Kung 2018 na total common equity po,
Yes.
dun sa additions to retained
Yun. Thank you. Thank you so much. Who's this?
Tiglaw, sir.
Sino? Ms. Tiglaw. Thank you so much. Ms. Tiglaw is correct, no? Kasi may total common equity tayo noong 2018. Tapos remember, take note guys na madadagdagan yan based on the addition to retained earnings. So your total common equity for 2019 will be your total common equity for 2018 plus the addition to retained earnings. Yun. Okay. So that's how you get this, no? Okay, ganun din to yung 2019. It will be the previous one plus the addition to retained earnings. Okay, so that when you add them now, okay, you can now check it against your liabilities and equity. So pareho sila. So we did not use the a balance sheet. Otherwise, guys, hindi natin hindi natin ka-counter check kung tama nga yung galaw ng equity natin, including the addition to retained earnings. Okay, any questions so far? So nag-batch na yung assets and liabilities na natin. Okay, pause muna ako guys to validate. Paki-check nga kung clear so far, guys. To this point, guys, to total liabilities and equity, clear ba tayo? Okay, good. Others? Okay, thank you. Okay, any questions? Baka may questions yung iba? Huwag mahiya magtanong, guys. Any questions? All right. So no questions. Punta na tayo dito, guys. Dito sa mga importanteng measures natin, yung ROIC, FCF, pakidagdag yung EVA kasi hindi ko yata nalagay dito. Okay, we'll compute for this. Okay, so first we begin with the NOPAT, di ba? Ano yung NOPAT natin? How do we compute for the NOPAT? May formula tayo niyan. Your NOPAT is what's our NOPAT? We're not using the NIAT. We're not using the net income after tax kasi that involves interest, no? May financing doon. And in order to compute for the EVA, FCF, kailangan lang natin yung NOPAT. Okay, correct, no? Trisha, thank you. It's your EBIT times 1 minus tax rate. So here, okay, so it's my EBIT. My EBIT is here at C8. And then I subtract the tax immediately, no? Times 1 minus tax, which means I'm already subtracting the tax due on the EBIT. Hindi natin pinapadaan yung interest expense. Hindi natin sinasama yung interest expense. Okay, so you should get that, guys. Check nyo nga, guys, kung may tax rate kayo. Dito. Kasi I think last time we created this, yung tax rate na to. If you click this, babalik dito yan kasi ginamit natin yung tax rate dito. 40%. Nagkataon naman na tamang 40%. Pareho sila. So going back here.
Sir, sorry po.
Yes.
C8 po is EBT lang po.
C8, sorry.
Yung formula po, sir, pwede ko patingin ulit. Yung
Okay,
sa cell po mismo.
Sige. Dito sa C38.
Sir, ang EBIT po, di ba, is C6?
26.
Ayun, sir, EBIT po.
Ay, oo. Sorry. Oo, mali ako. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this is wrong, no? So this is equal to your EBIT. That's correct. Thank you for pointing that out. That's good, no? That's good. Really appreciate your feedback, guys. Times 1 minus, then we can just type the tax rate, no? Kasi na-save na naman natin itong tax rate na to. So click that. That's the good thing about this is naka-fix yung tax rate na yan, kaya pwede natin i-copy to the right yan. Control Enter, so that's 33,600. Okay, 3439. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. Very good. Okay, any questions? So we have our NOPAT, net operating profit after tax. Remember, how do we derive the NOPAT? It's your net income, guys. Kaso, hindi natin sinasubtract yung interest expense. So we call that the NOPAT, net operating profit after tax. Okay, then let's get the operating current assets and operating current liabilities kasi kailangan natin siya sa net operating working capital. Okay, kailangan natin yung NOWC ultimately para makuha yung EVA natin. Okay, so I just copied this from above. This is just from C17 and this one is just from C23. Okay, then how do we get our net operating working capital? If we have our operating current assets and if we have our operating current liabilities, so our net operating capital will be anyone? How do we get our NOWC?
Their operating current assets minus operating current liabilities.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Perfect. That's correct, no? It's just the difference between your operating current assets and operating current liabilities. So that's the formula that we have. Okay. So far, guys, up to NOWC, pareho ba tayo? Did you get
Yes, sir.
104? Yes?
Yes po.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, then, sabi natin, in order to arrive at your TOC or total net operating capital, kailangan natin yung net PPE. Net, guys, hindi gross, ha? Kasi baka binigay din sa taas, sa balance sheet, yung gross. Don't use that to compute for your TOC. So we need the net. Eh, nagkataon naman, guys, ang binigay lang sa atin net. So wala tayong problema. Net PPE. So this is just copied from above. That's C19. Okay, so we now have our NOWC. We have our net PPE. We can now compute for your TOC. Total net operating capital. Which is just the sum. Sum lang ng operating current and NOWC at saka net PPE. So ito na, guys, yung binigay na capital sa management. At the beginning of 2018, binigyan sila ng 303 thousands, millions ba to? In thousands, so this is 303 million. Noong 2019, nag-increase. At the beginning of the year, binigyan sila ng 315. And then at the beginning of 2020, binigyan sila ng 330. Okay, then we can now compute for the investment in capital. Investment in operating capital, which is just the difference between the beginning of 2019 and 2018. Wala tayong mako-compute dito sa 2018 investment kasi wala naman tayong value ng 2017 na TOC. Okay, so this is just the difference between the two. The increment is the investment in operating capital. So sa 2020, at the beginning of 2020, nadagdagan tayo ng 15,707. Okay. During 2020, dinagdagan tayo ng 15,707. Okay. How do you now compute for your NOPAT, guys? How do you now compute for our ROIC? Sabi natin, napaka-importanting measure to kasi dito natin i-compare kung nag-create ng value yung company o hindi. Sabi natin, dalawang ways yun, either yung ROIC or your EVA and MVA. So how do we compute for the ROIC? So ano yung kwento dito sa ROIC, guys? Ang kwento dito, noong 2019, nakapag-generate sila ng operating profit na 34 million. Pero magkanong capital ang ginamit nila? At the beginning of 2019, magkano capital ang ginamit nila? Ito, 303. Okay, 303. Remember, this is December 31, 2018. So this 303 is the beginning of 2019. Okay, so the whole of 2019, naka-generate sila ng operating profit na 34, making use of the beginning capital na 303. Now, yung ibang ginagawa, guys, ina-average out to. No? Ina-average sila itong dalawang to. For our purposes, we just use the beginning capital. Okay, so did you get 11.48? It's simply your NOPAT in 2019, the whole of 2019, divided by how much was the beginning capital in 2019. That's 303. Pinagamit sila ng operating capital na ito at the beginning of 2019. Tapos magkano generate na ng operating profit? Ito. So your return on invested capital is 11.48. Okay. And 2020 naman, it's the same. Okay. Nag-generate sila ng operating profit na 39 million. Tapos ang opening capital nila, beginning capital is 315 million. So, which gives us 12.59% return on invested capital. Okay, question guys, question. Did the company create value? Did management create value for their shareholders? Ano yung answer dun? Was value created for shareholders? Nice. Pwedeng chat nyo or pwedeng i-unmute yourself to answer. Okay, natin. Yes, Hans, yes. Julius. Bakit? Bakit yes? Si Julius ba ito na sumagot ito? Correct. So, nag-chat dito si Trisha. Nakita yung chat, guys, sabi. Yes, value was created in 2019 and 2020 because the ROIC was both greater than 10.02%. Okay, so here we're assuming that the ROIC was the same in 2019 at saka 2020. Okay, so comparing your ROIC with your WACC, sorry, comparing your ROIC with your weighted average cost of capital 10.02, then nag-create ng value yung management, yung company for the shareholders. And on 2020, it's the same. Value was created since your ROIC was greater than your weighted average cost of capital. So since value was created, we expect that the EVA, we expect that the economic value added will be positive. Okay, so ito yon. Pero let's compute for this one first. Okay, so what's your free cash flow? Your free cash flow by definition, sabi natin, is cash flow available for distribution to investors after allocating cash for your operational requirements. No? So how do we compute for that? Noong 2019, yung net operating profit natin is 34 million. However, nag-invest sila sa capital na 11,953. Therefore, ang free cash flow, okay, will be the difference between your NOPAT and your investment in capital. So that one. Okay? All right. Any questions? Nakuha yung free cash flow?
Sir, pwede pakita po ulit.
Sige, yung which one?
Yung FCF po, yung free
FCF.
cash flow.
Okay, sige. So this is your FCF. It's simply the difference between net operating profit tayo, tapos kailangan yung ibabawas natin dyan, yung i-invest sa operating capital. Kasi by definition, sabi natin, ang free cash flow is simply cash flow available for distribution to investors. after deducting cash flow requirements for operations. So ito yung operating profit natin, ibawas natin yung kailangan sa operations, investment in capital, ang matitira, ang tawag dyan, free cash flow. Ito na yung pwedeng gamitan for, ano yung 5 gamit guys ng free cash flow? Number 1, payment of dividends. Number 2, una muna sa creditors, payment ng interest expense, at saka payment ng principal. Sa mga shareholders, payment ng dividends at saka buyback treasury shares, no? Buying back the capital, the stock. And pangatlo, investment in non-operating assets. Okay, yung hindi papasok dito sa operating capital. So pwede dyan, acquisition, etc. Investments in non-operating assets. So pwede yun. Okay. Any questions, guys? All right. So EVA, guys, ano yung kwento ni EVA? Okay, we expect this to be positive kasi yung ROIC natin greater than the WACC. Sabi natin, value is created if the EVA is positive. If the EVA is negative, then value is destroyed. So how do we compute for the EVA? Okay, one way is this. Yung formula natin. So pag alam na natin yung ROIC, ito yung return natin eh. Yung return, ibawas natin yung required, yung average cost, inet natin, okay? Inet natin yung dalawa, then i-multiply natin dun sa magkano ba yung operating capital at the start. Okay? So at the beginning of 2020, year 2020, ang binigay na capital, ang available na capital for use ng management is 315 million. So anong ginawa nila dito? Nakapag-generate sila ng ROIC na 12.59. Kaso may cost yung capital na to. Ano yung cost ng capital na to? 10.02. Hindi kasi libre paggamit ito, guys, no? So we will charge management for the use of this capital. Magkano yung i-charge natin sa management for that? Answer, guys. How much are we going to charge management for the use of the capital? Answer? Ulitin ko So, yung management was given at the beginning of 2020, ito, 315 na capital. Yung 330 yan, guys, at the end of the year na yan. So, at the beginning of the year, ito yung binigay na capital. No? This one. Okay, nadagdagan nga ng 15,000 yan, 15 million, kaya naging 330. So, tingnan natin, nung simula ng taon, binigyan sila ng 315. During 2020, ilan yung return dun sa operating capital na na-generate nila? How much was the return? Answer? Na-compute na natin yun.
Sir, 15,707.
15,000 is the investment na binigay sa capital. No? How much was generated na return? Ito, yung ROIC, 12.59%. Ito yung return na na-generate ng company based on the capital that was given na 315 at the beginning of the year, 12.59. So ang kwento niyan ganito, guys, ulitin ko para clear sa atin yung kwento. At the beginning of 2020, binigyan yung management ng capital, operating capital. How much was that operating capital at the beginning of the year? Answer? How much capital was given at the beginning of the year, guys? $315, correct, no? Kasi itong 330, guys, at the end of the year na yan. So, syempre, sa simula pa lang ng taon, alam natin dapat kung magkano yung capital na binigay sa management. It was 315, no? Magkano yung return na generate nila for the year to 2020? Nakapag-generate sila ng 12.59% based on this capital of 315. Ang tanong, libre ba tong capital na to? Hindi. Sabi natin, di ba? May opportunity cost yan sa investors eh. Ang nagbigay nito guys, yung investors, yung creditors at saka shareholders in the form of investment in equity and investment in nag-credit sila, nagbigay sila ng pautang dun sa company, no? Okay. Libre ba to? Hindi. Magkano yung cost nito sa company? Answer? How much is the cost of this to the company? Kasi sabi natin hindi libre yan. How much is that? Answer? Anyone? Paki-chat na lang. The answer is it's actually there sa ano, no? Yeah, thank you Julius. No? Julius is correct. Sabi niya, ang cost nun ito. Yung WACC guys, that's the cost of getting capital. That's the cost of acquiring capital for the firm. So combination yan ng ano, combination yan ng debt at saka ng equity. So if ever magkakaroon yung project ng company, dapat it should be higher than this one, the WACC or what we call, diba? Binigyan natin ng pangalan to. It's also called the hurdle rate or the WACC. Weighted average cost of capital. Dapat yung makukuha ng return sa any project should be greater than the hurdle rate. So tingnan natin guys, ang ROIC natin, ang return natin 12.59, ang WACC 10.02. So okay tayo. No? And we get the EVA by simply 12.59% minus ROI minus WACC. Okay? Kasi china-charge natin yung management sa paggamit ng capital. Anong capital? Ginagamit natin yung beginning capital. Okay? So that's your EVA. Economic value added. Any questions so far?
Sir, ano po ulit formula ng ROIC?
ROIC is, okay, so that's a formula. Yung profit na na-generate natin divided by magkano yung capital na binigay sa atin sa simula ng taon. Profit ng 2019 divided by how much was the capital, operating capital provided at the beginning of 2019. Ito yun. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Ganon din to, no? Ganon din to. So that's the operating profit generated in 2020 divided by magkano yung capital binigay at the beginning of 2020. Okay, any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Okay, now we go here kasi magkakaroon tayo ng example ng this is what we call evaluation problem. This is what we call a valuation problem. Ano yung valuation problem? Gusto natin malaman guys kung as an investor, gusto natin malaman kung mag-i-invest ba tayo sa company na to o hindi. Okay, so we'll try to value how much is the per share price of the stock. Yun ang gagawin natin. And ang usually na ginagamit is the free cash flow. Okay, so napaka-importanting measures to, no? Yung measure yung free cash flow. So analyst would access the free cash flow of the company and then come up with an analysis and estimate kung paano magkano yung per share ng company. Okay, bigyan ko lang ng example ha. So kunyari, kinompute natin to, tapos ang lumabas, ang price ng company is 45 pesos. Kunyari 45.50. 45.55. So let's suppose, kinompute natin yung free cash, yung price ng asset based on the free cash flow. Okay? So, ang tawag dito guys, ito yung intrinsic value ng company. Intrinsic value. Intrinsic value, which means we were able to compute this based on the internal details ng company. Intrinsic means internal. So, using the free cash flow, example, na-compute natin tong 45.55. Tapos, tinignan natin sa stock market, the company is now selling at sa market 43 kunwari 0.65. 65. Okay, kunyari sa market guys, sa stock market, ito yung value ng company. Okay, tanong. Is the stock undervalued or overvalued? Ito yung
Sir,
sa market, ha?
undervalued.
Okay, correct, no? Right. Ibe-base natin sa market, no? Hindi dun sa intrinsic. So sa market, the stock is selling at 43.65. Okay? Pero ang intrinsic value niya, based on the, let's say, based on the free cash flow ng company, based on its financial statements, 45.55 siya. Ang intrinsic value niya, 45.55. Ang market value, 43.65. Therefore, we conclude this is undervalued. Okay, undervalued. Bakit? Bakit? Sa market, binibenta siya at 43.65. Intrinsic value niya, 45.55. So if you're the financial advisor, ano sasabihin mo dun sa client mo? Buy ba to? Sell? Or hold? Kasi tatlo lang naman guys eh. Tatlo lang yan. Buy, sell. Kung meron kang stock na yun, hold. No? Ito lang i-advise mo. So should it be a buy, a sell, or hold?
Sir, buy po.
Buy. Bakit buy, guys? Correct. Buy siya. Ang i-recommend mo buy. Kasi it's selling now at 43.65 sa market, pero ang intrinsic value niya 45.55. Okay, of course may mga assumptions to, no? May mga assumptions siya. So, we're saying now that it's a buy. I-recommend mo na i-buy siya. However, kunyari kung 48 naman siya, the market price is 48. So, ano masasabi natin, guys? This is overvalued. Overvalued. Ibig sabihin ng overvalued, mas mataas siya kaysa dun sa computed natin na intrinsic value. So mahal siya, guys, mahal siya. Ang quote-unquote fundamental or intrinsic value niya 45.55. Tapos it's selling now at 48. So ano pa pwede niyan? Either do not buy yet, no? Or if you have that asset, pwedeng ang recommendation mo i-sell mo. So pwedeng yun ang recommendation mo. I-sell mo siya, so you're selling it at 48, pero ang intrinsic value niya 45.55. Okay? Alright, so ano lang yun up? So parang example lang nung how financial advisors come up with certain decisions. But of course, kailangan malaman to. And that's now the problem. That's now an activity in finance, no? Yung valuation problem. So pag finance kayo, kung finance students kayo, later on, may subject kayo na valuation lang talaga. Pag-aaralan niyo kung paano i-value yung isang stock, no? Okay, so here we'll have an example of how to value stock. We're going to use the free cash flow. So this is what we call free cash flow valuation. So yung free cash flow ng company in 2020 is this amount, 23,963. Okay, 23,963. Okay, what we're going to do now is, based on the free cash flow, we are going to compute for the value of operations. Yes, you can compute for the value of operations. But there are certain assumptions that we have to have. No? Unang muna, kailangan natin malaman yung growth rate, no? Expected growth rate. So given sa atin na yung free cash flow na to will continue growing by 5%. Okay. So gagawin natin simple lang, it's expected to continue growing infinitely up to by 5%. So let's plot that. No? So ngayon 2020, no? Gawin natin si 2020 year 0 guys, para mas madaling computation natin. Tapos year 1, which is 2021, year 2, year 3, year 4. Okay. Clear so far, guys? Clear tayo so far?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Tapos, ang assumption kasi niyan, going concern kasi hanggang up to infinity na yung growth rate na yan. Of course, it can still change, no? But we're just using that simple assumption that we expect the free cash flow to grow by 5%. Okay. So ngayon, ang value ng free cash flow is how much? The value of the free cash flow is 23,963. Okay. So we expect that to grow by 5%, no? Gawin natin itong, lagay natin itong growth. Growth. Lagyan natin ang pangalan, no? Growth rate. I'm giving it a name, growth rate. Okay, so if it's going to grow by the growth rate, how much will be the value for next year? If it's going to grow by 5%. So magiging ano na siya? Magiging value ngayon times, can you tell me guys the formula for this? How much will be the value of the free cash flow next year, 2020, 2021, after 1 year? Okay, answer. Oops. Okay, correct, no? Correct. It's 1 plus, thank you, Tricia. Thank you, Julius, for your answer. Pero, we're making it grow by the growth rate, no? So, ganito yung mangyayari niyan. Is equal to whatever the previous value is times 1 plus the growth rate. GR, yan. Hindi yung growth rate natin. Yan. Your growth rate is 5%. Okay, clear to? And then you can actually copy this to the right. Okay, so that increase ng 5% every year up to infinity yan, guys. So i-continue mo pa yan. Oops, sorry. Okay, kasi ang assumption naman natin, guys, ang assumption natin is is going concern, no? So you can plot this hanggang year 300, 400, 500. 1,000 pwede rin. Okay. Clear so far, guys? So ang question natin, assuming we have this infinite stream of cash flows which keeps on growing by 5% every year, ang question, guys, magkano siya ngayon? So gusto natin malaman, magkano yung price ng operations natin ngayong 2020, if we have this stream of cash flows. We have this stream of cash flows which keeps on increasing by 5%. Okay. So how do we compute for this? Infinite stream yan. Okay, so let me just show you the formula. Tapos next, pag nasa time value of money na tayo, saka natin titingnan yung formula ulit na to. No? Pero it's suffice it to say that yung formula na yan, gusto natin magkano, malaman magkano to. In other words, ito, okay, yung pinakadulong-dulo, okay, magkano siya ngayon? So if you can plot this, sige. Let's try to copy this. Check ko muna. Okay, tama. So if I keep on copying this hanggang 1 to 1, guys, stop na muna ako dito, no? Okay. Okay, after 325 years, guys, okay, the value of the free cash flow, which kept on increasing by 5%, is now 184 billion. 184 billion na yan. So, increase ka lang na increase, guys, hanggang kahit 1,000. Okay? Actually, it will not matter kasi kung i-project natin, ang gusto natin kasi malaman, magkano to ngayon. Now, habang lumalayo ka na lumalayo sa present value, guys, habang lumalayo ka na lumalayo sa time zero, halos nagiging negligible na yung effect ng padagdag ka ng padagdag ng number of years. Okay, lumiliit na yung value ng dadagdagan mo pa ng years. Okay, so just to show you, okay, without explaining kung how we get the formula, kasi kukunin pa natin yan sa time value of money. So let me just show you the formula. So yung value ng operations natin, value of our operations is equal to, based on the free cash flow, it's equal to, kasi gusto natin malaman, kunin natin present value niya, magkano siya ngayon, kahit dun sa pang 1 millionth year pa. Kukunin natin yung present value niyan. So the value is free cash flow at times 0 times 1 plus your growth rate divided by your WACC minus G. Okay, so that's our formula, guys. Okay, so hindi ko muna explain kung paano nakuha yung formula niyan, but that can easily be proven, okay, na ano ginawa natin? Gusto natin malaman kung magkano yung value ng free cash flow kung magsisimula tayo ng 23,963, tapos if we keep on increasing it by 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, infinitely, no? So yung infinite na time series na yun, guys, it can be reduced into this formula. Okay? So let's show that. So it's equal to the free cash flow at time 0, which is 2020. Ito nasa E49, ano? Times 1 plus your growth rate. Since kinapin na natin to, nagyari ng pangalan. Growth rate and divided by, then may pangalan din tayo ng WACC. I gave a name to our WACC, guys. So binigyan ko siya ng pangalan. WACC. And then minus your growth rate. Yan. So that's our formula, guys. This one. Control Enter. I'm getting 501,225. Flash ko itong formula. E49 is our free cash flow. Okay, questions, guys? Questions? Did you get 501,225?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Sige. So nakuha na natin yung value ng operations, no? Baka may question. Okay, thank you. Now we were able to get the value of the operations. I-add natin yung value ng non-operating assets. In this case, wala tayong non-operating assets. So kung meron, usually meron naman, pero to make our this exercise very simple, so hindi na tayo naglagay ng value ng operating assets. So we can now get the total value of the firm, which is just the sum of the operations plus the non-operations. Natin ang underline to. Underline. Oops. Okay, so value ng total value ng operations natin is 501,225. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Okay, tama-tama lang pala tayo dun sa sa worksheet na to. Next. Okay. No questions? Okay, so ito yung value ng corporation, no? Inad lang natin yung value ng non-operating assets at saka operating assets at saka non-operating assets. So ito yung value ng corporation. Ngayon, saan ba nanggagaling yung value ng assets ng company? Di ba sa debt at saka sa equity? I-minus natin yung value ng debt. So how much is your total debt? Our total debt is this one. 216,373 kasi we're looking at 2020. Okay. Hindi natin ng isang decimal point ito para at least consistent na 1 decimal point. Okay, therefore, we can now compute for the value of the equity, which is equal to this minus that. Yeah. So this is now the value of your equity. So nakuha na natin yung value ng equity natin based on the free cash flow. Remember guys, itong equity na to, okay, itong total equity na to, 1 to 80 na yan, ngayon yan. Okay, so ito yung forecast natin using the free cash flow. And then yung estimate natin, kasi it will increase by 5% over the next X number of years. Kinompute natin yung based on a forecasted, projected 5% growth of your free cash flow. Ito yung value ng equity natin ngayon. So it's different guys from the book value kasi baka malito kayo. Di ba may equity na tayo dito na 180? Okay. Ito 284. Anong kaibahan niya? This is based on an assumption that your free cash flow will continue on growing by 5% forever. Forever. Tapos based on that assumption, magkano yung intrinsic value ng equity? Ito yon. And so, binigay ba sa atin, number of shares guys is 10,000, which is in millions. Kasi lahat naman to in millions. Therefore, ang per share natin is this one divided by yung number of shares natin. This. Yan. Ang natin currency. Okay. So this is now the intrinsic value of your asset. Ito yung kaninang example na binibigay ko guys. No? Ito. Ito. Binag-example lang tayo na 45.55. Ito na yun. So the intrinsic value of the asset, yung per share niya is 28.49. Okay? 28.49. Ngayon, si mga financial advisors, magbe-base na sila ng recommendation comparing the market value. Kunyari, ang market value ngayon 30, ibig sabihin nun guys, 30, overvalued yung natin, yung asset. Kasi, take note guys, para ma-determine mo kung overvalued or undervalued siya, binibase mo dun sa market value. Ang market value natin 30, ang intrinsic value 28. So, over tong pagbavalue natin ng 30 kasi yung intrinsic lang niya 28. On the other hand, pag mas mababa ito, kunyari 28, so ang value ng market, that's the price by which the stock is trading at the market at that current time, 28. Pero ang intrinsic value niya, 28.49. Therefore, undervalued guys yung stock. Okay? Any questions about this? So itong EVA guys, na-compute na natin itong isang EVA based on ROIC to, no? Ayun. So I leave you guys to compute for the EVA based on the other way to measure it. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, good. Clear ba yung 28.49, 28.5? Clear siya? Kung paano nakuha?
Yes po.
Okay. Okay, good. Alright, so I leave you guys to compute for the EVA kasi dalawa yung formula natin, ano? Yung isa based on ROIC, yung isa based on pag-compute ng yung sa NOPAT. Okay? Alright, so I have 3 more minutes. Tingnan ko lang to guys, ito lang, no? Sabihin ko lang sa inyo kung paano kinukuha yung common size statement, alam na natin yan, di ba? Okay? So, paano to? Common size statement, it will be equal to sales. Tapos i-fix natin yung row ng sales para makopy natin to, divided by this sales, control enter. Tapos kung gusto niyang gawin percent, times 100 na lang. Pwede rin yun, times 100, para it will appear as a, oops. So dapat, huwag na lang. Kasi naka-percent na pala to eh. No? So it's equal to this, fix natin yung row, divided by this. Okay. Control enter. So isang formula lang yan guys, no? Copy natin, tapos copy down. Okay, yan na. Wala natin 1 decimal place. Malaki ng iba, no? We will have to... Okay. Check na lang kung so, tama ito. Okay, tama. Okay. And then lastly guys, itong horizontal. Paano yung horizontal analysis? Ito kasi ito yung intra-year guys, intra-year, within the year. Okay. And then horizontal analysis naman guys, you're comparing 2 years. So how do you do that? This is very simple. So noong 2019, 3432 siya, yung sales, tapos naging 5834. So this is just the growth rate. By how much, how many percent did it increase? Anong formula nun, guys? It's equal to, how do you compute for the growth rate? Anong formula ang sinabi sa inyo, guys? Anyone? How do you compute for the growth rate? Diba ang growth rate, guys, ano? Growth rate is equal to current value over what? Current, yung iba ganito pag binibigay, current minus past over past. Okay, mas mahirap pag gawin to. Actually, mas madali yan guys kung i-factor out natin to. So that's current divided by the past value. And then past divided by past is just minus 1. So this is the easier way to compute for your growth rate. Kaysa yung current minus past over past. So let's now do this. So this is equal to current divided by the past. So that this is comparing 2020 and 2019. Ano? Ang current natin si 2020. Oh, sorry. Not the percentage. Current divided by the past minus 1. Okay, control enter. And then we can just copy this. And then this one. Okay, so that's it guys. Ito. Tapos ang gawin nyo na lang, lagyan nyo din ng mga lines. Kung ano lines dito, ganun lines dito. So it's already time. So this just is telling us that sales increased by 20% between 2020 and 2019. Okay, and then it increased by 20.5% between 2021 and 2020. Okay, All right, so next meeting, guys, I'll assume that you have already computed hanggang dito sa statement of cash flows. And then we'll just start with this. Yung ratios na tayo next meeting. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Salamat sa pag-attend. Have a safe weekend and have a meaningful Holy Week ahead.
Sir,
Yes?
pwede po pa-send nung Excel file na yan.
Ito, sige. I'm going to send it. Sige,
Thank
sure.
you, sir.
Okay,
Sige
sige.
po.
So thank you so much, guys, and keep safe. And
Sir, can I have my attendance check?
yeah, sure. Sige, I'll check your attendance, huh? And keep safe all. Okay? Okay, salamat, everyone. Okay, sige, yung papa attendance, stop recording ko na muna.